Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 993rd Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. This is a very unusual battle I've got for you today. This is a quantity versus quality battle. And as I say, very rare for me to put a battle like this on to our channel. And I think you're going to enjoy this one. Very exciting. And as I say, it's a quantity versus quality battle here. It's an actual 3v4, so I think, as I say, very rare for me to put a battle on like this. You'll see that this is one of our classic traditional battlefields here. This is the Nordic woodland battlefield. Okay, you can see mostly flat, but you've got the winter scenario for barbarian troops, and you've got the woods for barbarian troops as well for the bonuses. Okay, our first teammate is someone who's called himself Gaul only, but is in fact Brotherhood member TR. Now he's got 12 chosen swordsmen, 2 warband, 1 druid and 2 cavalry, and Gaul is his faction of choice. TR has really persevered with Gaul. Now if you look at the upgrades on these chosen swordsmen, count them up there, you'll see 9 upgrades, fully upgraded chosen swordsmen. Remember, these guys got excellent morale and actually are very, in my opinion, underestimated infantry. So fully upgraded chosen swordsmen there. Okay, also like we've seen before, he's bought a druid unit there. Remember, most barbarian units morale is not very good, so to bring a morale boosting unit like a druid is a really good tactical move, and which is what he's done there. And if you notice, 2 of his units here are 121-man unit warband units, okay? And if you notice here, if we look closely at them, you'll see that they carry spears. So remember, anything with a spear or pike on Rome Total War is anti-cavalry. So he's got 2 anti-cavalry units there. And that is his faction of choice, Gaul, and he's got quite good with it over the months. Okay, our next teammate is a newer player to Rome Total War called Prince of Ionia. Okay, now he's bought the Seleucid faction. Now he has got 7 pikes and 5 cavalry. Okay, as I say, he's a newer player to Rome Total War. We've invited him into our games. We're giving him a few hints and tips and trying to encourage him, you know, to carry on playing Rome Total War, really. If you look at the upgrades on his Seleucid pikes, if you count them up, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fully upgraded pike units, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack for his pike units there. Okay, so that's pretty solid. And if we have a look at his cavalry, if I remember correctly, if you count the upgrades up on his cavalry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, yeah, fully upgraded cataphracts. Remember, like we've talked about before, we call these guys the tanks of the ancient world because they're armored from head to toe and fully upgraded. They can be pretty tough. So it's only a small Seleucid army that he's bought. As I say, a newer player to Rome Total War, but every single unit is fully upgraded. Okay. Our next teammate here is Brotherhood member Sable. It's nice to see Sable back on Rome Total War. Now he's got 14 pikes and 6 cavalry. Yes, 14 pikes and 6 cavalry, which says to me mixed upgrades. I don't know what all of you are thinking there. There you are. You can see some of his royal pikemen have just got gold shield, gold attack on, which to me is quite low upgrades. I don't know what you think. But other of his units there have got the optimum Macedonian royal pike upgrades, 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So mixed upgrades through his 14 pike units there. I'm guessing because he's got 14 pikes, his cavalry are probably, yeah, just gold shield, gold attack there. So his companion cavalry with their massive 9 charge bonus there, just got gold shield, gold attack on. So that's Sable's Macedonian army. It's nice to see him back on Rome Total War. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's bought a very old Greek cities army of just 13 Spartans. Okay, now we've got a very, very diverse team here, as you can see, the 4 of us. Okay, so we have got Gaul with Brotherhood member TR. Okay, his faction of choice. And then we've got Seleucids with the Prince of Ionia, newer player. And then we've got Macedon with Sable and Greek cities with myself. It's got the potential to be an absolutely cracking, unusual battle, this one. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Royer, who's bought the Britannia faction. Now he's got 13 chosen swordsmen, 1 druid, and 6 chariots there. Quick look at the upgrades on his troops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fully upgraded chosen swordsmen. 3 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, and remember these chosen swordsmen, as I said before, very, very underestimated infantry in my opinion, and fully upgraded. Whoa. And then he's bought the morale boosting druid unit there to give his troops even more morale, even though they're fully upgraded. So nice move there. Now of course he's gone for the barbarian warlord chariots. Remember, Britannia's got 2 lots of chariots. They got the ordinary heavy chariots for about 580 denarii with 3 hit points, or you can go for these barbarian warlord chariots that have got 5 hit points, but they're over 1,000 denarii. And I've experimented with both, and I would always recommend to get the barbarian warlord chariots here with their 5 hit points. That really does make a difference. So I think that's all in all, that's a pretty tough Britannia army there. Remember, this is a no archer, no slinger, no head hurler battle, and of course this is a barbarian faction which will be getting the winter bonus as well. And don't forget, they've got extra money to spend on their troops. Okay, we'll explain a little bit about that later on. Okay, and there the next teammate is Brotherhood member Mantu. Now Mantu's got 13 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, 13 infantry and 6 cavalry. Check out the upgrades on his infantry. He's got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his urban cohorts. Okay, remember that experienced stripe really does make a difference. And as I say, 7 upgrades on all his infantry. And just to give you a heads up on this, there's his general unit there. Count the upgrades on his cavalry general. 9 upgrades, fully upgraded. And if I remember correctly, all his cavalry is fully upgraded. They're hiding in the woods at the moment, but all his cavalry fully upgraded. Remember that these 3 players have got 41,333 denarii to build their army with. Okay, their last teammate is Brotherhood member Fesen with his faction of choice, Carthage. Now he's got, get ready for this, all right, 18 Sacred Band spearmen, but also get ready for this, all fully upgraded. Count the upgrades, 1, 2, 3, 9 upgrades, 3 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack on all of his troops. And there's his well thought out, battle hardened battle formation there. Okay, so just wanting to say to you that they have their armies have 41,333 denarii to upgrade their troops really highly. Okay, so 41,333 denarii each. That's why their troops have got such good upgrades on in this 3v4. Okay, now of course we get a whole extra army because there's 4 of us, but our armies are restricted to just 31k. Okay, so as I say, in this 4v3, our armies are restricted to just 31k. That's all we're allowed to spend on our troops. Okay, so we just got a basic 31k armies, the 4 of us. But the 3 of them, as I say, have got 41,333 denarii to spend on each of their armies. And this is going to be an interesting quantity versus quality battle. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, the team has decided they want to form up on our right flank on this Nordic woodland map, which of course, as a lot of regulars watching this battle will know that a lot of you that watch our battles regularly will know that very often I've got to run over from one flank to the other, and this is no exception here. You'll see that I am now going to run from the left flank all the way over to the right flank, with hopefully not being intercepted by any enemy troops that may well try to intercept me on the way over to my allies there. But as I say, that's where we've decided we're going to move over to the right flank there. And as I say, those of you that watch our battles regularly, I think you'll find this is a very rare battle that I've put on today. This is a real quantity versus quality battle. Okay, so as you can see, a 4v3 there, quantity against quality. Okay, so you can see here that the enemy troops look like they're going to move around our left flank. Can you see that Mantu and Fesen there, and you can see Royer moving his troops over to the left flank. So it looks like their bulk of their army is going to move over to the left flank there. But if you notice here, a good tactical move here by Royer. He's going to move his chariots over to our right flank. Okay, nice little tactical move there by Royer. So we're going to be looking in both directions here. When they all form up together, obviously we'll be watching our left very closely, but also we've got to watch our right flank for those chariots as well. Very powerful chariots, those barbarian warlord chariots. A lot of people say they're the best chariots in the game. As I say, my Spartan army has nearly got over to my allies now. And as I say, this has got the potential to be an absolutely cracking battle. And as I said, a very unusual quality versus quantity one too. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you'll see that our team here are forming our battle line up to face the enemy coming round our left flank. Okay, I think that's a pretty solid battle line there of spears and pikes. You can see my army, our Seleucid ally, our Macedonian ally, forming the main, if you like, outer layer of our battle formation there against the enemy. And then you'll see here that TR with his Gaulish army is in reserve. And that's quite a good tactical move, that, because with his Gaul army, that he can assist wherever needed there if it's in reserve. If they try and come around the flank, he can block flanking attacks there on either flank. Look, he can block them with his Gaulish troops. So having the Gaulish army in reserve, I think, is quite a good move. Now you can see these 4 pikes that are being held in reserve. They are being held in reserve, but also there's a reason that they're there as well, and that's because of the enemy chariots that have now got in behind us. Okay, as we saw earlier, Royer got round our flank, but because we've turned our battle formation to face our left flank, he's now got his chariots actually in the rear of our units there. And if he times it just right and brings those devastating chariots in, that could be battle winning. Okay, so that is why Sable's got those 4 pike units there, and we've got those fully upgraded Seleucid cataphracts there as well to try and counter any move by those chariots. But as I say, just watch those chariots very closely. They could be battle defining later on in the battle. Okay, at this stage of the battle, let's say you can see that we're all formed up here, ready to receive an attack if that's what the enemy troops can do. Just a reminder, remember that the enemy team have got 41,333 denarii each, so they've got over 10,000 denarii more than us each there to upgrade their troops. And as I say, you can see here that those chariots of Royer are loitering with intent behind us there, and I'm guessing their intent will be to hit us just when he feels it's the right time there. Okay, so as I say, there we're forming up there and just reacting to when the enemy moves there. As I say, we've gone into kind of defensive mode here. If you look at the factions that we've got, did you notice anything unusual about the factions in our team? No Rome. Would you say that's probably unusual? No Rome in our team at all. We've gone for pikes and spears, and as you could see, Gaul as well there. So, and just as I say, just remember that we've only got 31k each, and they've got over 41k to really upgrade their armies. So as I say, this is a real quality versus quantity battle. And a lot of RTW players believe that the quality always wins in these 4v3s. But I would say that probably it kind of, maybe about 50-50 there. But as we know, Carthage punches above its weight against the big 121-man units like Macedon and Seleucid. So it wouldn't surprise me if Fesen wants to take on Macedon or Seleucid here. And here can you see Sable taking his Macedonians forward, almost challenging Carthage there. Can you see that? I thought that was quite a bold move there, if you like, by Sable, knowing that Carthage punches above its weight so much against the big 121-man pike units there. So aggressive move there by Sable. And as I say here, Sable I'm guessing we'll be watching those chariots in behind us there with his pikes. Remember, pikes will kill chariots really easily. Right, now here, I think we're going to see the overrun glitch. Okay, did you see there how those 3 Carthage units overran into the Macedonian pikes there? And I think myself that possibly was the overrun glitch. This is where you set your units to go forward, but they run further than you want them to, and very often run into places you don't want them to. It's called the overrun glitch. And I think that might have just what's happened there to Fesen's units. Luckily, he didn't lose too many troops in that overrun glitch. But as I say, it's very annoying when that happens. Here you'll see Sable moving his Macedonians out even further to our left flank there. And it'll be interesting to see where or if the enemy are going to strike here in our battle line. As I think our battle line is pretty solid to me. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. Now what I'm thinking here is, what do you reckon if Fesen aggressively attacks the Seleucid ally there, our Seleucid ally, the newer player to Rome Total War, pins and holds those Seleucid pikes with his Carthaginians, while Royer takes his Britannia, fully upgraded Britannia army, round the flank. Now what do you think about that as a possible tactic by the enemy team? Is that something that you think you would think about doing? So the Carthaginians hold and pin the Seleucids where Britannia comes round the flank, and then the chariots maybe move over there and then smash in to our flank here. I mean, potentially they could break and rout and break our right flank here. I just wonder what all of you are thinking about that. Don't forget, I always like to read what your thoughts are about our battles in the comments, especially the tactics and strategies that you might see that could really make a difference in the battle. But as I say here, you can see our battle line is pretty solid there. And if you notice, I've integrated my Spartan army a little bit into my Macedonian allies there. Okay, so here you'll see, right, now, are they going to do what we just talked about there? It looks to me like Fesen is moving forward here to possibly, as I say, pin and hold the Seleucids there. Can you see the direction of travel of his army there? Okay, pin and hold the Seleucid pikes where Royer gets his Britannia troops around our flank. So it'll be interesting to see if that is exactly what the enemy troops strategy is. And as I say, you can see those Britannia chariots loitering with intent, and we know that what their intent is going to be. Okay, so there you are. You can see Fesen being very, very aggressive there. But maybe he's, I don't know what you guys think. Do you think he might be attacking on too wide a front so that his units are kind of spread a bit? I don't know what you think about that. Please put your thoughts in the comments. But here, as I say, you can see Royer bringing his Britannia troops around the flank. Do you see what I mean about Carthage there is attacking on a very wide front rather than maybe concentrating on the Seleucid? I don't know what you think about that. Please put your thoughts in the comments there. You see our Seleucid ally is going to try and hold solid. Our Macedon ally is going to try and hold solid. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack. Okay, I think my Macedonian and Seleucid allies can hold the battle line there. And I'm going to attack with my Spartans into those fully upgraded Carthaginians there. Okay, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. And we're just hoping that TR's Gauls here, troops, can watch our flank and stop us from being flanked by the enemy troops. If you notice the chariots at the back there moving round a little bit round to our flank there to assist their infantry is what I'm thinking at this time. Okay, we need to be aware of that. But can you see here the Carthage units being pushed in to our my troops and our Seleucid troops, but as I say, a very wide battlefront there that they're attacking. Right, okay, so here you can see Royer's Britannia infantry fully upgraded, a chosen swordsman coming around our flank. Okay, I'm hoping here that TR is going to take his Gaulish chosen swordsman up there to engage and block that flanking move. But those chariots there, as we know in other battles, they can be devastating. Here you'll see the Carthaginians making inroads into the Seleucids there. As I say, with my Spartans, I am going to be aggressive and I'm going to try and punch a hole into those Carthaginian units with my Spartans. You'll see here that Mantu's Roman army at the rear here is just kind of like, they're kind of like keeping it back in reserve. I'm just thinking, could he take some units around there to help his Britannia ally? Imagine if he took 5 of his well-upgraded urban cohorts, at least 5 round to help there. Or maybe even help Carthage a little bit to hold and pin the enemy troops. Please put your thoughts in the comments about that. But here, as I say, you can see Royer bringing his Britannia fully upgraded infantry around our flank there. Nice tactical move there, I think, by Royer. And as I say, you can see Sable there got his pikemen ready to try and counter the Britannia Chosen Swordsman movement there. You'll see several of the Carthage units are already starting to break. Can you see some of the Carthage units are already routing there as my Spartans are pushing in to those Carthage units. Okay, but over here, look, on our right flank, you'll see the Britannia troops charging in. Look, oh my gosh, and here comes the chariots. Oh my gosh, right, pause the game for a second here. So very, very aggressive by Royer, really pushing his fully upgraded Chosen Swordsman in on our right flank. And the chariots are going to smash home that attack. They're going to ram home that attack. Okay, so make no mistake here. Look, can you see? Frightened by chariots. So even though we've got pike units in the mix, they are frightened. So their morale will be dropping like a stone. Our chosen Gaul ally there, Chosen Swordsman there, frightened by chariots. So their morale will be dropping like a stone. Make no mistake here, okay? Our right flank could be smashed and broken here by this really aggressive attack by the Britannia general there, Royer. I was just thinking if Mantu brought some of his Julii troops around there as well, just to help with the attack. I don't know what you're thinking. Once again, please put your thoughts in the comments. Always nice to know what you're thinking here. Right, but you can see my Spartans moving forward. But as I say, our right flank, there's those chariots going in. Look, bang! As they smash in there. Oh my gosh, the fear factor plus the massive attacking specifications of those chariots. Now this is a good move by Royer. He's going to pull his chariots back, lock and load them, and then charge them back in to get, once again, to get the full charge bonus. Look how well his fully upgraded Chosen Swordsmen are doing on our right flank. You can see that TR has brought some more of his Gaulish troops across here to try and block this attack. But I can't help thinking Mantu could bring some of his infantry round here. It's just what I'm thinking there. If he brought, like, say, 5 or 6 of his units round just to help on this right flank here. Right, you can see, oh my gosh. So you can see a lot of TR's Chosen Swordsmen are beginning to rout here. Well, actually, they are routing, as you can see. So make no mistake, our right flank here is in danger of breaking. Okay, the pikemen here of our Seleucid ally, frightened by chariots, and its morale is not very good. And you've got this massive attack could come into the rear of our Seleucid ally there. Oh my gosh. So make no mistake, our right flank is in danger of being broken. As I say, with my Spartans, I'm being very, very aggressive. We've got my Macedonian ally and a couple of Gaulish units there pushing in. I'm looking to break through the Carthaginians and go into the Julii troops of Mantu, is what I'm thinking there. But Mantu's got all those troops at the moment. Okay, they're getting ready to throw pilers into us. Yeah, understand that, because obviously he wants to weaken us with his pilers. But I was just thinking he could move some of his troops around the flank there to help Royer's attack. As I said, that's just my opinion. If you've got a different opinion or if you agree, please put your thoughts in the comments there. As I say, you could take those units around there, look, and really help Royer to roll our right flank up. Just there, look. Can you see just my thoughts on that? But here, as I say, you can see those chariots locked and loaded, going to charge in again. Look. Oh my gosh. And bang, as they smash in. So, oh my gosh, that's TR's Gaulish general has just been taken out. We know Gaul morale not very good, so losing the general there is really bad news for us. You'll see Sable moving a couple of pike units over there to try and neutralise the attack coming in on our right flank. Now, here you can see Britannia troops of Royer going into the rear of our Seleucid allies' pike, so he's being attacked from the front and the rear as well. What we call an old school sandwich attack. Okay, a sandwich attack there from the rear and the front. So, and you can see Fesen coming in from the flank as well on our Seleucid ally. So make no mistake, our right flank here, I think, could mass rout, and that could cause us all to mass rout here. But you can see the really aggressive way that Royer is attacking here on our right flank. He's taken out a heck of a lot of Gaulish troops there, and Macedonian pike units as well from the fear factor. Now over here is something quite interesting. You'll see that the fully upgraded Seleucid cataphracts have taken on the fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry, and you can see that the cataphracts are driving the fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry away from the battle there. Okay, that's an interesting little tussle there. Fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry against fully upgraded Seleucid cataphracts. And remember that the Julii cavalry have got 6 units, the cataphracts have only got 5, and yet the cataphracts have driven those Julii cavalry away from the battlefield there, 5 against 6 there. And if you look at the altercation here, if you like the little skirmish, you'll see that it looks to me like the Julii cavalry has definitely come off worse. The fully upgraded Julii cavalry has come off worse here against the fully upgraded cataphracts there, if you look at the dead of the 2 lots of cavalry there. So that's an interesting tussle there that went on at the rear of the battle. But as I say, Royer here being ultra aggressive with his Britannia army. Really nice to see. And here right now you can see that Mantu is bringing some units around the flank here to try and help his Britannia ally. And don't forget, Fesen's doing really well there. It's taken out a lot of Seleucid pike units there as well. But can you see my Spartans? I've kind of punched a hole through the Carthage troops that were in front of me, and I'm going into those Julii troops at this stage of the battle. But as I say, the quantity over quality is the interesting factor here, I think. Right, so here you can see more Gaulish troops routing. You can see Royer's troops coming in. Now here you'll see there's 1 unit of Seleucid pikes left there. 1 unit left. You can see that the Carthaginians there have done so much damage to the Seleucids there, and working well with their Britannia ally. But here now, you know, you can see Mantu's Julii infantry. I was expecting to throw them in here to, you know, to kind of help with the attack. Right, here comes the chariots coming in. See the Britannia chariots going to charge in again. Bang! As they smash in there. Just look at those chariots coming in there. Oh my gosh. And don't forget, he's got his infantry fighting in there as well. But what I would say to you is that I believe there's some Macedonian pikes in there. And as I say, remember, pikes kill barbarian troops and chariots quite quickly there. You can see there, there's 1 Seleucid pike unit left. That's all we've got left there. But as I say, you can see my Spartans pushing out towards the enemy troops there. Okay, see my Spartans there. I'm trying to engage the enemy Julii troops, but maybe Mantu could come around the flank here with those 5 units just to help his Britannia ally there on the flank. I don't know what you're thinking there, but the chariots and chosen swordsmen have done so well, but they could do with reinforcements there. You can see Fesen's got Carthaginian units moving in on us as well on that right flank, but really maybe the Julii infantry could come round there and help. I should imagine Royer's probably screaming, send reinforcements here. But as you can see, the Julii troops are just kind of just standing in reserve almost there at the moment. And there you are, that's all of Royer's Britannia troops have now been taken out, except for just a couple of very battle damaged chariot units there. But the rest, all his infantry, everything's been taken out now. So, and over here you'll see the Prince of Ionia, remember the newer player to Rome Took War, trying to chase those Julii, fully upgraded Julii cavalry units of Mantu there. Trying to chase them down there. So it'd be interesting to see if they actually get into a full-scale battle, those guys. 6 fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry against 5 fully upgraded Seleucid cataphracts. Here you can see our Macedonian ally may well charge his cavalry into Mantu's infantry. Here, as I say, you'll see my Greek cities there, my Spartans really being aggressive, pushing into Mantu's red Julii infantry there. See them really pushing in. and here you'll see our Macedonian ally has taken some reinforcements over to our right flank to face the other part of the Julii army there. If you see, can you see Sable now moving his pikemen in towards the Julii infantry there? Can you see Mantu now being very aggressive, charging his infantry in there? I think he was hoping that his fresh infantry attacking tired troops might cause a possible mass rout there. But as you can see, we're really holding firm there against that attack that Mantu's just thrown in. I think that's maybe... my Greek city's general... Oh no. Right, that's my fault. My Spartan general has just been killed. I shouldn't have had him in such an exposed position. Right, over here you'll see that Mantu's decided to charge his fully upgraded cavalry into the Seleucid fully upgraded cataphracts and bang and smash as they charge in there. Okay, if you look closely, you'll see that the Prince of Ionia there has alt-attacked with his cataphracts, and they're using their effective against armor maces. Okay, you see that, but also you'll see that Mantu has also alt-attacked, and they're using their heavy swords. Remember, you charge in with the light lances, but once you get into hand-to-hand fighting, you alt-attack and you use the heavy swords, and the effective against armor maces are a lot more effective. And there's the Julii general right in the middle of those cataphracts. It wouldn't surprise me if that Julii general got killed pretty quick there by the effective against armor maces there. Just watch out for that Julii general to go down. I reckon there you are, Julii general. They're surrounded by those cataphracts, but they've now lost a general morale bonus, and it wouldn't surprise me if those fully upgraded Julii troops... There's a Seleucid general, look, still fighting. It wouldn't surprise me. Oh, nice hit here by Macedon. Bang! Straight into the back of those Julii cavalry there. Nice hit there by Sable, bringing his cavalry in there. And now those fully upgraded Julii cavalry of Mantu have now been completely routed. And a large chunk of the Julii infantry of Mantu's also been routed here. And you can see now, there you can see those units have been routed. You'll see I've turned my Spartans' attack trajectory now to attack the flank of those Julii infantry of Mantu's that are being held up so well by our Macedonian ally there, and our Gaul ally as well. Okay, so as I say, see the trajectory of my infantry now, of my Spartans to come in on the flank of the engaged enemy Julii troops. Now, talk about morale. I want to show you something here really well done by the enemy generals here. Can you see that Royer's bought his Druid unit, that morale boosting Druid unit there, to give morale to his allies there? Nice teamwork move there by Royer there. So those Druids there will be giving morale to his Julii ally. Also, you might notice there, can you see the Carthage general? Okay, so the Carthage general is the last Carthage unit left, I think, but the general's still alive, so he also will be giving general morale bonus to his allies. So you've got the Druids of Britannia and the general of Carthage there giving morale to their Julii ally as those troops are fighting there. You've got two lots of morale boosting units there giving morale. But you can see my Spartans coming in. It wouldn't surprise me here if the Julii general Mantu decided to admit defeat here. I can't see a winning situation here for the enemy team, so just watch out for the Julii flags to go white all in one go. Just watch the Julii banners there as my Spartans put it. There you are. You see all the banners then went white. He's just admitted defeat. We've just killed the Carthage general, and the Druids have just been routed as well. So it looks like quantity has overcome quality in this particular battle there. Okay, quantity has overcome quality. If we look around the battlefield here, you'll see here, this is where I believe I think our right flank was broken here. You can see a lot of dead Macedonians there where the enemy came round our right flank. I think that's what happened there. We're looking at the piles of dead. Over here you can see it's where the Britannia infantry and the chariot smashed into our allies there. You can see lots of dead there. Very intense fighting. Over here you can see that's where the Seleucids were fighting, the fully upgraded Seleucids were fighting the fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry, and the Macedonian cavalry came in behind the Praetorian cavalry and caused them to mass rout. Over here, remember that was the first skirmish there between the Seleucid cavalry and the Praetorian cavalry. As we look more around the battlefield here, you'll see the intensity of the fighting here just by the piles of dead there. You can see there's a big clump of my Spartans there. I see red cloaked Spartans there dead. But a very intense battle here. And there were more. You can see, as I say, in the snow battle scenarios, you can see the dead red cloaked Spartans quite clearly, can't you, on the snow there. So just like to say, really well done to my allies there. I don't think there's a lot of our troops left, and what we have got left are very battle depleted, I would suggest. There, I think if I remember correctly, Prince of Ionia there's only got cavalry left. All his infantry was taken out. They fought down to the last man kind of thing, and he's just got his fully upgraded Seleucid cataphracts left there. So you can see how intense the fighting was. But I just thought you might find that interesting there. Quantity, 4 armies against quality of 3 armies, but with massive upgrades. I just thought you might find that quite interesting there. And just say, a lot of players believe that the quality always wins, but as you can see here, quantity has won in this particular battle. That's just and there we go. So the first thing I'd like to say is, as always, really well played to everybody in the game. Everybody played really well. And an average victory there, I suppose we must have just edged into the average. I was thinking it was going to be close. But yeah, average, I think, really is quite fair there. As I say, in this quality versus quantity battle, I thought, as I say, we might have just edged into average there. Okay, highest kills in the game goes to Brotherhood member Royer with Britannia. 1,892 kills there. Really well done to Royer with Britannia there. Really aggressive, very attacking. Got the winter bonus as well on this map. Played extremely well there. So well done to Royer. Really deserved those highest kills there. Great attacking there. Well done to Mantu. He managed to get over 1,000 kills there. I thought, no disrespect, but a little bit passive there for Mantu. And well done to Fesen. He got over 1,000 kills as well. My kills, well, first of all, if you look, my army is the smallest army on the battlefield there, and the smallest army by quite some way as well, if you look. So the smallest army there, and to get that many kills, yeah, I'm very pleased with that. You know, it's very quite good there. Well done to Sable, got over 1,000 kills there, so well done to him. Very well played. Well done to Prince of Ionia there. Okay, as I say, a newer player to Rome Total War. He got less than 1,000 kills, so he might be a bit disappointed, but I thought he played very well for a newer player there. You know, and I can see him getting better and better with every game. And well done to TR with his with Gaul, the faction of choice, his faction of choice. He'll be disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills, but he did look after our flanks there, wasn't he? He was guarding our flanks there from the attack. Now, what about you know, the Britannia there doing so well there, and you know, they just did. I just can't believe how well they did there. So really well played to them. And just to say, if you look at the men remaining, okay, you can see our men remain. We've got quite a few men remaining. I know we won, but we've got quite a few men remaining. But if you look at the enemy men remaining, can you see how low that is? In fact, Mantu admitted defeat. He would have had even less men than that left if he'd have carried on fighting. And that's because, all right, because of the upgrades on their troops. Their troops fought for so long, and so many of them got killed instead of routing. So instead of routing, they fought longer, and that's why there's only so few men left, men remaining, if you see what I mean. Because of the upgrades, it kept them fighting longer, and so they instead of routing in large numbers, they fought down to low numbers, if you see what I mean there. I hope you enjoyed this battle. We play every Friday, Saturday and Sunday night if you'd like to come and join us. As I say, Prince of Ionia is a new player. We've embraced him into our games, and he's really enjoying getting the hints and tips that we can give him. Please leave a comment for me to read. I'd love to read your thoughts on our battles. Bye for now.